Market is looking good, and I thought, even though we're still in a sort of extreme fear section of crypto, that's kind of when you start accumulating altcoins, especially the ones that already went down by like 98%, because they can't fall much more. And if they do bounce back, then you get a safe 50x, if not more. Obviously nothing in here is financial advice. And if you want to trade some of the coins mentioned in this video, then they might be listed on Weeks over here. A non-KYC exchange, 700 plus trading pairs, futures, copy trading, and any sort of major coin is listed on here. Sign up takes 1 minute and then you're good to go. If you're interested, link down below. So which ones are we talking about? The biggest meme coin is this thing called Bitcoin, which, goes up, down, sideways. The chart is very basic, as we always know, right? You want to buy low and sell high. Or if you want to lose money, you do the inverted version of that. So you buy high and you sell low. But whenever it's down there, nobody wants to buy it. And when it's up here, everybody wants to buy it. But that's when you should sell, right? The intuition that you have, you gotta flip that around. Because who would like to buy it 7 years ago at 3,600? Nobody. Who wants to buy it when it was at 60,000 last cycle? Everybody. You flip it around, that's when you make some potential profits. Now here's the thing. If AI is going to bounce back, then AI-based coins that already did their first rally and the second rally are probably going to do a third, even though nobody wants to buy it. For the few coins that we talk about, I think Node AI has like the highest overall chance to bounce back because they have an active working product where you can rent GPU computing power for like 80 or 90% cheaper than anywhere else in the world. And if AI does accelerate and we have something that is not ChatGPT that people actively use, there's going to be a big comeback. Now in a recent video, Crypto Gains talked about how this is not just a narrative, but there's like a main narrative for most of humanity at this point. While we do joke around that AI is going to come and replace all the jobs, that's not necessarily happening. But lots of things that we used to do manually are automated with this now. And it's probably not going to slow down. Most things are going to die off, but this one has a working product, which is now better than it was a year ago. But the price is down like 98%, considering that we didn't have alt season and the initial hype is over. But with entire nations fighting about chips for computing power and building insanely large farms just to get enough electricity, talking about how they want to get nuclear energy plants back so they have enough energy for all the servers, computers, GPUs needed to fill the demand, maybe something like that is going to make a comeback. Obviously it's hard to buy something that used to be worth like 200 something million and now it's worth 7.5 and is down 96% in one single year. But if we do get alt season, then it's probably going to go back and beyond what it used to be. Which means if you normally buy, let's say $500 worth of any altcoin, which you then hope goes up further, you can put like $20 in here. And if it goes back to, let's say 200 mil market cap, so it does a 30x, then $20 becomes 600. And in this case, the entire risk already happened. And after risk, there's a reward. Maybe. In the worst case, you lose $20 or a tiny amount. But the upside is pretty big. If we simply talk about percentages, if you have like 70% of your portfolio in Bitcoin, 20% in layer 1 chains, some USDT, some stables, and you have 10% for various different altcoins, your higher risk positions, take like 0.1% or 0.2% in total. Because if you lose it or it goes down by another 50%, nothing really happens. But if it does make a comeback, and we have those giant data centers that are being actively used, then this is going to get a different digit at the beginning than a 0. Similar ideas for other coins. For example, Alex Becker mentioned this one a couple times. Obviously, I wish I would have sold it at that point, because then I wouldn't be down 94%. But it's the exact same idea. It can't really go much lower, because people at the current price simply accept that, okay, I hold this until it goes back up. And if some of the biggest players in crypto do hold this, even if it's down, then they look at this long term. Now, if any of the AI coins are going to turn out well, you never know. Maybe everything is worthless. So $100 last year are now worth $6. But if you put in $10 now, which is an equivalent to like $170 last year, if it simply goes back to where it was last year, then your $10 become $170. And that's a good bet. Because in the worst case, you lose like another $3 of your 10, which doesn't matter. But if it does go back, then your electricity bill for the month is free. Similar for TARS AI. Same thing as that. Wish I would have sold it last time, as we are down also 93% in the past year. But it pretty much bottomed out. It can obviously go lower, but if this moment in time would happen to be the reversal where alt season actually starts, Bitcoin goes to like 150k and beyond, and you have like a tiny minute fraction of your portfolio in all these coins, there is no real risk to it. Now we can talk about exactly what they do, what they plan on doing, what their long-term vision is and all of that. In reality, if AI gets hyped again and alt season starts, anything in AI is going to go up by like a 10x minimum anyways. So it doesn't really matter what they do. It's just the fact that they're part of the correct category. And you never know. Maybe Amazon comes around and says, oh wow, they have cognitive trading frameworks. I want that. Let's buy it for $1 billion. Could happen. Much less risky and far, far bigger. BitTensor at about 3 billion in market cap. Similar to Zcash, it's probably going to go to 1K and above this cycle. But in that case, even one single TAO is 300. In this case, one coin is 2.5 cents. Plus, if this one would magically go to the exact same market cap as TAO, so it does a 200x from here, you would smile. If this one does a 3x, also good. But if this one does do a 3x, this will do more than 3. You get the idea? If Bitcoin goes to 200k, so you will double your money in Bitcoin, then everything else is going to do more than a 2x. So if you already bet on the 2x happening, it's a safer bet. Then at the exact same time, you also bet on like a 3x for this, a 5x for top 100 coins, a 10x for coins in the top 500. Because if the first thing happens, it results in the other thing also to happen. Therefore, you can take some of your portfolio, skip the first thing, put it into the second, third, fourth thing, as that is the order of things that would happen anyways. Lastly, there is Nosana, similar to Node AI GPU. You have GPUs, you rent them out for cheaper. We're still down 13% in the past week, also 93% in the past year, which seems to be a common factor among all these coins. But again, if the category of AI coins does go up again because of whatever happening, maybe there's GPT-7 that gets released and every single government makes it mandatory that we all integrate our chip and we become part of a globalized brain network, then anything AI based is going to go up anyways. You get the idea. Treat this as a complete gamble, as all of this has no real ground or guarantee. But if any of that does turn out well, no one's gonna complain. If it goes back to March of last year, where we had $7, even above that at the very peak, or about a 26, 27x from here, well, Bitcoin was at almost the same price, then you might get like 30% of Bitcoin, but you get like 27x on that. So if you take like 0.5% of your portfolio, or like 1/4%, the risk to reward is pretty big. And if you lose it, nothing happens. Let me know what you think. If AI is going to make a comeback, I would assume long term it should be, because otherwise why was it here in the first place? You could say it's like the .com bubble, where everybody makes their own website and then most website-based companies, you know, they burst and nobody cares. Which is somewhat true, because who really cares about AI coins, as all of us simply use ChatGPT and nothing else, really. But looking back from a future point of view to the current time, it might be obvious that of course AI is going to stay. Of course alt season has to happen. But all these thoughts only make sense when you look back from the future, which hasn't happened yet. So what I'm trying to say is that this video is purely for entertainment purposes, and the magic internet coins might go up, down, sideways. Nobody knows. But it can still make an educated wish. And with that being said, I'll see you in the next video, and until then, take care.